Welcome to Super Showdowns, the ultimate destination for epic battles and legendary showdowns. Join us as we put iconic superheroes, villains, and mythological figures against each other in a thrilling matches of strength, strategy, and skill. The skies above Metropolis burned with chaos. Fire rained down from the heavens as an explosion erupted in the upper atmosphere. The shockwaves shattered glass across the city, sending terrified civilians ducking for cover. The night sky was momentarily illuminated by a massive fireball, but through the flames, a silhouette emerged. Lobo, the main man, the last Charnian, and the baddest Bastic in the universe, rocketing toward Earth on a space hog. Lobo grinned as he spun his massive chain, the bladed hook at the end gleaming in the moonlight. He cracked his knuckles and pulled out a massive cigar, lighting it casually against the heat of re-entry. "All right, you Kryptonian fragging Boy Scout," he muttered. "Time to dance." A blue and red blur streaked across the sky, breaking the sound barrier as it closed the distance in milliseconds. Superman. The man of steel's cape flapped violently as he stopped midair, his glowing red eyes locked on Lobo. "Lobo," Superman said, his voice steady. "You're trespassing my city. Turn back now." Lobo exhaled a cloud of smoke, unfazed. "Ha! Oh, that's adorable. Listen, Soups, I ain't here for tea and biscuits. Got myself a fancy contract. Big bucks, real important. Guess what? You're the target." Superman's fists clenched. "Who hired you?" Lobo chuckled. "Confidential, but let's just say some folks out there want you out of the picture. Permanently." There was no time for negotiations. Lobo revved his bike, launching forward at full speed, his chain swinging towards Superman's head. The man of steel dodged effortlessly, zipping to the side at hypersonic speeds. Lobo snarled and swung again. This time, Superman caught the chain midair, yanking it with such force that the bike spun out of control. Lobo let go, flipping through the air, and landed on a nearby rooftop with a loud crash. Superman zoomed toward him, throwing a punch that could split mountains. Boom! The impact sent Lobo flying backward through the building, bricks and steel collapsing around him. Before the dust settled, he burst out of the wreckage, laughing. "Damn, Kent, that all you got?" Superman didn't hesitate. He sped forward, hammering Lobo with a relentless barrage of punches, each blow creating thunderous shockwaves. The Charnian tanked them all, blood splattering from his nose and mouth, but the wounds healed almost instantly. Then Lobo countered with a brutal uppercut. He sent Superman careening into the sky, then yanked him back down with his chain, slamming him face first into the pavement. The ground cracked beneath the impact. Superman barely had time to recover before Lobo stomped down, aiming for his spine. At the last second, Superman rolled away and blasted Lobo with heat vision, searing his armor and charring his flesh. Lobo roared, but within seconds, his skin regenerated. "Now we're talking." Lobo grinned, wiping soot from his face. He reached into his jacket and pulled out an antimatter grenade. "Let's see how you like this." Superman's eyes widened. Before he could react, Lobo hurled the grenade at point-blank range. Boom! The explosion engulfed the battle, blinding white light. The shockwave leveled an entire block, and when the dust cleared, Superman was gone. Lobo cracked his neck and exhaled another puff of smoke. Ain't no way even he walked away from that. But then, from above, the rubble shifted. A shadow emerged, eyes glowing red with fury. Superman, battered but very much alive, floated upward, his suit torn, his muscles flexing with rage. "You just made a big mistake, Lobo."
Hey you, don't just watch. Subscribe please.
Lobo grinned and cracked his knuckles. "Yeah? Then bring it, you overgrown Boy Scout." Superman charged forward, faster than the human eye could see, and just before the impact, boom! Lobo hit the ground like a meteor, his massive body smashing into cracked pavement as smoke and debris billowed into the night sky. His cigar was long gone, crushed beneath the rubble, but his grin never faded. Superman floated above him, cape billowing, eyes glowing like molten lava. The main man wiped the blood from his mouth with the back of his glove and chuckled. "Damn, Soups, you got some serious muscle on you." He flexed his fingers, feeling his ribs snap back into place. His body regenerated instantly, mending broken bones and shredded tissue in seconds. But let me tell you something, I love a good fight. Superman hovered a few feet above him, fists clenched. His breathing was slow and steady, but his mind was racing. Lobo couldn't be reasoned with. He thrived on destruction, chaos, and the sheer joy of battle. Talking wouldn't work. Superman had to end this. "I'm giving you one last chance, Lobo," Superman said, his voice firm. "Walk away." Lobo barked out a laugh. "Walk away? Bastic, I just got warmed up." Then he charged. With a burst of speed that defied physics, Lobo closed the distance, swinging his massive chain like a wrecking ball. Superman dodged the first strike, but Lobo feinted, reversing the motion and catching Kryptonian off guard. Wham! The spiked hook slammed into Superman's ribs, sending him hurtling through the remains of a collapsed building. The shockwave from the impact shattered windows across the city, and rubble rained down like meteors. Lobo didn't waste a second. He raced forward, chain spinning, leaping through the air with a war cry. Superman countered, bursting from the wreckage like a cannonball. He tackled Lobo midair, smashing him through the remains of a skyscraper. The building groaned, then collapsing on itself, sending up a cloud of smoke. The battle wasn't slowing down. Lobo punched Superman in the jaw, the impact sending a visible shockwave through the air. Superman responded with a devastating right hook, breaking the sound barrier as it connected. The Charnian staggered, but he didn't fall. Instead, he grabbed Superman by the throat and headbutted him with enough force to crack a planet. Boom! Superman's vision blurred. For a moment, the world spun. Lobo grinned. "Ain't nobody ever said fighting me was easy, Big Blue." He grabbed Superman's arm, twisting it behind his back, and launched him into the stratosphere. The Man of Steel regained control midair. His head still throbbed, but he pushed through the pain. He had fought God before. Lobo was relentless, but Superman was unbreakable. Lobo rocketed after him, using his jetpack to close the distance. "Where you going, Supes? We ain't done." Superman's eyes glowed. "Neither am I." He unleashed his heat vision at full power. Twin beams of burning plasma erupted from his eyes, striking Lobo head-on. The Charnian screamed as his entire body was engulfed in searing energy. His armor melted, his skin blistered and burned, but he refused to go down. Then Superman charged straight through the beam, hitting Lobo like a living missile. The impact shattered the sound barrier again as they rocketed upward into space. Lobo growled, smoke rising from his body as his skin rapidly regenerated. "You're really pissing me off, Supes." Superman didn't answer. Instead, he grabbed Lobo by both shoulders and hurled him toward the moon. Toom! Lobo hit the lunar surface hard, carving a massive crater into its rocky terrain. Dust and debris floated upward in the low gravity, but Lobo stood up immediately, shaking it off. Okay, he muttered, rolling his shoulders. "You're starting to impress me now." Superman landed a few feet away, his boots kicking up moon dust. He had to end this now. Lobo cracked his knuckles. "You know what, Supes? This is actually kind of fun. But business is business, and I still gotta frag ya." Superman exhaled. "Then I guess I have no choice." Lobo's grin widened. "Yeah, and what are you gonna do?" Superman moved faster than light. 1 second Lobo was standing there. The next, Superman was behind him. The Charnian barely had time to register the shift before Superman unleashed a single, concentrated punch to the back of his skull. Crack! The force was unreal. Lobo's eyes rolled back. His body went limp. For the first time in the battle, Superman had hit him hard enough to knock him unconscious. It wouldn't last long. Superman knew that. Lobo's healing factor was too strong. He'd wake up in seconds. But seconds were all Superman needed. He turned, streaking back toward Earth at full speed. Lobo groaned, his body twitching as his brain rebooted. His vision was blurry. His head was ringing. Ugh, what? Then he realized Superman was gone. "Ah, you're fragging, sneaky bastard." Lobo roared, slamming his fist into the moon's surface. "Ran off before I could finish the job, huh? He exhaled, rolling his neck. TCA smart move. A slow grin spread across his face. He pulled a new cigar from his pocket, lighting it with a flick of his thumb. This ain't over, blue boy. Not by a long shot.